Welcome to this episode of the MPE 2025 Awards Winners Series, where we showcase MPE 2025 award winners to discuss what matters most in merchant payments. My name is Neira Jones, and it is my pleasure to welcome Helen Owen, VP of Marketing at Brite, and Quentin Barria, Head of Sales at Brite Payments, to hear their insights around today's theme, the unseen layer of connected payments. And at the very end, I'll be asking them a surprise question, one they haven't seen coming, so stick around to find out what it is. But first, let me tell you about our two winners and what makes them perfect to discuss our theme today. So, Brite won the MPE 2025 Best Payment Orchestration Solution Award for giving merchants unrivaled control over their payments, optimizing authorization rates, and offering flexible white label orchestration that blends powerful tokenization, 3DS agility, and acquirer independence into one smart, scalable platform. And as for Brite Payments, they won the MPE 2025 Best Use of Open Banking Award for redefining instant payments with Swedish flair, united speed, security, and simplicity across Europe. Connecting thousands of banks, this fintech star proves that open banking can shine brilliantly for businesses and consumers alike. So, welcome, Helen and Quentin. Delighted to have you here. So could you please say a few words in turn to introduce yourself, starting with you, Helen?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Neira. It's great to be on here. So I'm VP of Marketing at Brite. As you just very nicely explained, we're a payments orchestration business. We work predominantly with enterprise merchants across several categories, as well as offering a white label solution for PSPs and acquirers.
Excellent. And to you, Quentin.
Thank you for welcoming us to this episode. My name is Quentin, or Quentin in French. I'm head of sales at Brite, and Brite is a Swedish fintech institution and one of the European leaders in account-to-account payment, which is powered by open banking.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both. And let's dive into our questions. So, our first question is about your winning moment. So what did the award mean for you and what was happening in your company at the time? So first to you, Helen.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question. It was a really interesting moment in time for us because we were starting to see the word orchestration used all over the place, and we'd frequently get asked, there's so many orchestrators now, how do you cut through the noise? And of course our view is that there are actually very few pure play payment orchestrators, but it became a buzzword, so it's something that lots and lots of companies like to use to describe pieces of what orchestration can add up to. So for us, the award win was amazing, first of all, to get that win. And we were absolutely delighted. And it was an incredible recognition of the work that's been put in by those who have built the product, by those who work with our customers. The customers have put faith in us as well. So it was a really amazing accolade. But what it really helped us to do was to demonstrate what orchestration really is and to cut through that noise. So it was incredibly well timed and really helped us to kind of set the stall out in a much more defined way.
Of course. And to you, Quentin, what did the award actually mean and what was happening in your company at the time?
Winning the award of the last MP was a brilliant moment for the company. Of course, it was an honor to be shortlisted for best use of open banking for payments. And of course, it was a great pleasure to get on stage, to win, collect the award. So we've been very happy with that, of course. Last year was a moment of growth for the company, both in terms of scaling the business, but also rolling out new products, completing our data solution offering, and continuing to refine our features. So the recognition at MP was therefore an important validation of our team's hard work and dedication. And it was also a stamp of approval from the European fintech industry, An award like this confirms that our approach is what the market, what merchants and payment partners truly value. So it's a great sign of recognition from the industry. And of course, it was also great to receive the award in Berlin, at the heart of the European fintech space.
Fantastic. And both of you in the right place at the right time with the right product. And of course, you get a very, very nice statuette, which is in itself a work of art. So, but if we look beyond the trophy, what challenges are you actually solving now, and how has your market position evolved following on with you, Quentin?
Well, over the past year, Brite has continued to solidify its position in the market, which is about delivering faster, easier, and more secure instant payments and payouts. And that continues to be our market position, which is about addressing merchant pain points and frictions in the checkout process. So we're quite excited to see how the market is moving. It's a fast-paced environment, and we see large-scale customers who offer pan-European payments looking to add instant payments as an option for consumers to their stack. And these are the type of customers who have previously been sometimes reluctant or hesitant to switch from traditional payment rails. So it's great to be having conversation with them and see them taking that direction as well. Ultimately, Brite is making instant payment and instant payout simpler and more widely available. So we are looking forward to accelerating that momentum this year.
Absolutely, accelerating transformation in the industry. So, same question to you, Helen. What challenges are you solving now, and how has your market position evolved?
You actually gave me a great segue there, Quentin, unintentionally. It's been a really interesting last sort of 12 months or so for us. So a few things have happened. We have brought a huge amount of additional volume onto the platform. One of the things that has really enabled us to start doing now is looking across all the data sets. So all those data streams and points that we get through from the volume of transactions that we now process through all those various layers of infrastructure. And we're able to share some of that insight back, both within our teams to make sure that we can keep evolving the product and keep providing value to customers, actually sharing payments performance data back with those merchants and even with our payment partners, who are a really important part of our ecosystem. And what it does is help us look at not just the broad trends, but very specific challenges and how best to solve them. So that's something we've really started to be able to do in the last sort of 6 to 12 months. But the really interesting piece as well is we're finding, and I think this plays into the market position part of your question, is we're finding that a lot of merchants are now coming to us for looking at their overall digital transformation projects and where the payments platforms and related pieces play into that, and where orchestration can potentially help solve multiple challenges by tackling multiple pieces of the problems that they have in that digital transformation process. So it's a really significant shift from where orchestration has traditionally been thought of in terms of creating cost savings, increasing acceptance rates. And while all of those things are still true, there's now an ability to play a much broader role in that transformation process, but also around very granular challenges and making sure that we can create continual optimization. As we all know, this industry doesn't stop. Technology is continually evolving, and so is customer expectation and behavior. So the ability to keep iterating for a merchant is really important. And the data and the tools that we have now are enabling them to do that.
And that's fantastic. And in order to achieve all of that, of course, you need to have vision, and in order to be able to impact the industry as a whole. So that's a very nice segue to my next question. Where do you actually see payments evolving in your respective areas, and also any advice for other innovators, starting with you, Quentin?
Well, that's a great question, because as Helen mentioned, the global payment industry is a fast evolving landscape. And Brite develops instant account-to-account payment. So in practical terms, we enable pay by bank. Consumers are paying directly from the bank account in real time. And we are seeing pay by bank evolving into a serious alternative to traditional online payments. It's no longer just a trend. It's also becoming now a standard infrastructure supporting European commerce. A very important development is a growing demand for European sovereign payment solutions, systems that are developed, owned, and operated within Europe. As you noticed lately, the ECB the European Central Bank is increasingly calling for Europe to break its dependency on legacy payments infrastructure. And they aim at letting Europeans pay, transfer money across borders while relying solely on a European network. Therefore, the shift towards account-to-account payments represent more than just a new category. It's also about establishing sovereign, secure benchmarks that protect European consumers while empowering and supporting growing seamless pan-European trade.
And we see what's happening with the EPI, as you sort of briefly mentioned earlier on. And talking about pay by bank, I'm sure you will have seen the very recent announcement from Amazon offering pay by bank, probably a major milestone in the industry. So we'll see how that actually develops. So to you, Helen, where do you see payments evolving in your area, and any advice for other innovators?
So I think the news on the move from Amazon around open banking was really interesting because, is it giving that moment that really drives adoption? And I think what's really interesting about that is that's been a while coming. And I think it could be a really interesting turning point. And I think it's one thing that's really important is to look for that turn of the tide when you're looking at new innovations and technologies and potentially, what you need to adopt, whether you're a payment provider or a merchant. And I'd be remiss in not talking about agentic commerce because, it's top of the bill for everybody in different ways. I think for us, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. And we are actively engaging in conversations with some of our partners to see whether there's a way that we can support the enablement of that and whether the appetite is there yet or whether it's a bit early. And I think it's really important where there's something that's, the hype of the moment to think about it in a really practical and grounded way. Do you develop solutions around this new technology or this new service? Are you best placed to do it? Can you create value for your customers? Does it fit with your overall proposition? So these are all things that we're working through around agentic, and we're certainly seeing a lot more merchants coming in at the RFP stage who are asking about our stance on agentic commerce. So that's really interesting to see. I think at the same time as we see open banking rising, we'll see things like physical cards disappearing, and some of that is obviously being driven by the major card schemes themselves. And so things like tokenization become real imperatives, over the next couple of years. And again, that's something that we can support through our solutions. So lots of things, as always, that are bubbling around merchant payments. So we'll be keeping an eye on as many as possible.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be running out of time very, very soon. So I'm going to do a very quick wrap up with a quick fire Q&A session. And I'll start with you, Quentin. So first question, what's next?
It's a very good question. Well, firstly, we are looking forward to attending the next MPE event again and to meet with our partners, our prospects in the industry. So that's what's coming next. But of course, we've got some exciting developments coming down the track around user experience, around increased connectivity to third parties, around data solutions. And also we are looking forward to expanding across new markets. So keep an eye on it in the coming months.
I look forward to that. Now, describe your company in 3 words only.
I would say instant, secure, and of course, Brite.
Finally, give me 1 word to describe the merchant payments industry.
High velocity.
Okay, that's 2, but I'll give it to you. Now to you, Helen. So, what's next?
Oh gosh, lots of things this year. It's probably going to be our biggest year yet. So we've got some really exciting customers coming on board this year, which we'll be announcing soon. A couple of new products coming to market around solving things like payer verification, around data and a few other things. So we're excited to bring those to market. We have some significant geographic expansion happening this year. Again, announcements on that coming soon. And of course, like Quentin, we are looking forward to MPE this year. We're taking a much bigger presence because it's such a strong event. So we're really looking forward to that with silver sponsors this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, describe your company in 3 words.
Oh, this is so tricky. I would say agile, collaborative, and focused.
Fantastic. Now, give me 1 word to describe the merchant payments industry.
Complex.
Oh, that's a good one. High velocity and complex is what we're getting in this episode. So now for the final question. So one that neither of you knows about. So are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Did winning the award open any doors you did not expect? First to you, Quentin.
Well, the MPE Award was a brilliant moment for Brite, as I said earlier. So it, of course, opened up new doors in terms of conversations with potential customers and partners. And we're hoping to continue that trend into the year. We're looking forward to onboarding larger scale brands and continuing to push the adoption of account-to-account across the European market. So we're looking forward to the next one. MPE brings together payment professionals from all across the continent. It's a great place to start a great conversation. So we're looking forward to keep on building on that momentum.
And I wish you continued success. So to you, Helen, did winning the award open any doors you did not expect?
Oh, it's a good question. Probably. I think something we've really noticed, which could well be associated with the award win, is we've started to have some quite big name brands approach us, which is always a fantastic position to be in, where those sorts of large merchants are interested in working with you, and so that's always a pleasant surprise when that happens. Gives us a lot more reach out into the broader merchant ecosystem than we had before. So it's been a very positive experience.
Fantastic. And I wish you also continued success. Well, that's all we have time for, I'm afraid. Thank you both. You've been fabulous guests. I'm Neira Jones, chair of the MPE Awards, and you've been listening to our Voices of Influence. Helen Owen, VP of Marketing at Brite, and Quentin Barria, Head of Sales at Brite Payments. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who would love it. More coming soon on Voices of MPE, and I look forward to seeing you in Berlin.